welcome to episode 58 of Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter, right there,
Keeter.
Mr. Keeter, and me, Larned Justin, right here. So, we're the same two guys that always do it.
Yeah, it's always us, you know.
Yeah, it's always us. I don't know why we need to introduce ourselves. We
it's
do
a
it
ripoff, you know, because you could have got anybody. You could have got like Robert Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump to do this, you know. But
yeah, but they didn't want to, and nobody wanted them to. All right, we got a bunch of comics in this issue, in this episode.
Yeah.
Issues of comics in this episode.
Yeah. We got this right here.
Oh, yeah. That is a jam page from Steve Keeter for the Sunday Jam project.
Sunday Jam. I actually drew that page, people, and I don't draw much anymore.
Well, you should, because it's very well done. And I keep telling him that. And you people need to tell him he needs to draw more. He's publishing everybody else's stuff but his own. So
right, that's been going for a long time. I just found out there was a lot of people out there. I found this out decades ago. There's a lot of better artists than me out there. So
don't worry about that. Nobody's better than anybody. Nobody is better than anybody, really, in small press. Everybody has their own style. You can't critique somebody's style. That's how they draw, and, you know.
A little plug for Jason DeGroot, who started the Sunday Jam.
Yeah, that's the Sunday Jam guy. Yeah.
Sunday Jam. You can go on Facebook and just type in Sunday Jam. You'll find it. And it's a jam strip that he began months ago.
Yep.
And all these people have been contributing to it. You know, you draw one page. He drew the first page. Somebody else drew the second page. And they just go on and they make it up as they go on. Yeah. And
it's wild.
Nick Durga did the page following mine, which is a great honor for me because Nick Durga's a great talent.
Yeah, I think your work looks like his or his work looks like yours, one or the other.
It was good to draw something. I actually took some time because I had gotten pretty sloppy. You know, the times I did draw, I had gotten pretty sloppy over the years. Mostly I thought of myself as a writer or a publisher or editor, you know, but yeah, it's fun to draw. I mean, that's how it all started. I started out drawing comic books on lined notebook paper, and what the heck? I don't see any reason to stop now. I might as well just jump back in and enjoy the heck out of it. It was a lot of fun just to do that one page. So
yeah. Okay, let's see what anybody else is doing. What do you got?
We had a lot of stuff. I've got some here from Jim Main.
Oh, that one, I'm just going to mention, something has happened in the mail. I did not get my copy in time for the show.
Yeah.
So Steve's going to go over that one. Go ahead and tell us what that's kind of cool.
I'll go through. It's Jim Main. It's from Jim Main. You know, the great Jim Main, the Grim Jim, the mighty Grim Jim. I've known him since the early 1970s, since 1972 or 3, I think. We were both members of the United Fanzine Organization, the BPP, which became the UFO at that time. And he's got this new, beautifully produced humor comic. And who the heck did that cover? Let me take a look.
Okay.
Because it's somebody awesome, and I knew it. I thought it's Floyd Sumner.
Oh yeah.
Floyd Sumner.
Okay. Yeah.
And hey, Floyd, we're showing off your cover.
And that looks like it says the first issue of Smorgasbord. So Jim has not done this before. Is
satisfying. Right? He hasn't. This is a new zine from Jim. So Jim's published a lot of stuff over the years. This one's different because it is a humor zine. Not like Mad Magazine. It's like a Jim Main magazine. But it's got great work from Jack Bertram.
Oh yeah, I know
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an excellent artist. Look at it. It looks serious.
Yeah.
But it's not really serious. Once you get into the story, it turns out there's these guys traveling through space, and they're looking for Swiss cheese.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not made of Swiss cheese, they're not interested. So they went to the moon.
Okay.
Neil Armstrong took a walk on the wild side and found out the moon isn't made of cheese.
Well, there's no point in being there.
Nah, the heck with it. Get out of there.
The heck with it. Yeah.
Leave it to the Russians. So, and they went to the center of the universe. At the center of the universe, they found a glob of cheese.
All right.
Too vast, too hot to cool. And the mystery of this globe may puzzle men's minds until the end, it says. But that's that. If you ever wonder what's at the center of the universe, that's what's at the center of the universe. Big glob of cheese.
Cheese.
It kind of explains a lot about why things are so screwed up, you know.
Well, yeah, it's a little cheesy. Yeah.
And there's some comics in here from the great Kel Crum. Yes,
Kel Crum, yeah.
I'm calling you great, Kel. So next time we do a video, if I go to a convention and you're there, I want everyone to know, this is Kel Crum the Great. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you can see he has that distinctive style.
I think that's his improv troupe. Is that his improv troupe that he's got there? Yeah, I think.
The Dangerous Bird Improv Troupe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They do a lot of things. You write something, they do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like Kel's art. So what, they have different inkers or something? Because this looks
writers.
Like Kel to me.
Writers.
Not
writers, I'm sorry. Suggestions.
Okay.
They're just suggestions, and then the improv group does it. See? You give them an idea, and they do it. Yeah.
Kel holds it all together.
Yep.
This is the woman I want to marry right here.
Yes, that's her burp.
Yeah, wide open burp. And that would be our relationship there. And Kel has inspired me to look for such a woman, and so what we
that's
go.
Currently an all sound effects comic there. Burp, growl, all that. Yeah.
And Kel has this page in here. Auditions for Scrooge. Okay. All these people are auditioning for Scrooge.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got the first guy. He says, I was a mall Santa for 10 years, so I really hate Christmas. And the guy says, you're overqualified. Next. So it goes through several people. Here's a lady here trying to, I got to get this centered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bah, hummingbird. Nah, next. And it goes through the whole thing.
Yeah, she got the thing wrong. Supposed to be humbug.
Right. What type of insect is a humbug? Next. So the director's he's not impressed until the end. And he says, by the way, I work for the IRS. He says, you're perfect.
The perfect Scrooge.
There you go.
There you go.
We love Kel Crum, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's so great. And you got cartoons from Alan Groening.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He does a few Dracula cartoons in here, too. Mm-hmm. You see Dracula, and you see Dracula here. That one's funny because the guy's, he thinks he's presenting garlic, but it turns out they're onions, and Dracula just kind of looks at him. Those are onions. Unimpressed. Unimpressed.
Yeah.
Other stuff from other people here. I'm not sure who are the people because everybody doesn't sign everything they do. Now let's take a look in the front here. Groening. This is all Alan Groening stuff here. Yeah. Doesn't need to sign it because it's all Al Groening. And there you go. Mm-hmm. And we love Alan's artwork and his sense of humor. What is this? Okay, everybody, please. He's way at the end of the table there. Can you pass the salt?
Oh, the guy down at the end can't even hear him.
Yeah.
Big table.
Yeah, and he's like a king. He's got a crown on. They only have one salt shaker. Other people, John Lambert is in here. Mm-hmm. John Lambert puts in some artwork. You have to read it, folks. It might not look funny at first when you see sharks and stuff like that, but if you read it,
gotta read it, yeah.
Yeah, there's a headless guy right there at the top, so So right now, that's pretty.
I think I'm in there somewhere. I believe.
Yeah.
I think so.
You said you were in here.
Yeah,
The problem is I
think
can't find it. It
Oh.
says page 15, Larned Justin's Funhouse. Oh, I found it.
There
It's
you
not
go.
on page 15. It's on page 18.
Yeah.
So the contents page is wrong.
Yeah, those are from a comic I did called Yikes. And Jim wanted to know if I would, mind if he put some of those in there. I said, no, go ahead. Put anything you want in there. So he did.
So, are these new or these have been printed before?
They have been printed before, but only on Facebook. I don't think anybody,
okay.
very many people have seen them. So
Let's
they're
see
in
what we
there.
got. Yep. Here's the guy's in bed. He wakes up and he had a nightmare and he says, whew, I'm glad that was only a dream. And then you see there's a hideous alien arm reaching around the end of the bed.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Now, some of those are Inktober, where you have one word to draw.
Oh, yeah. I like this one at the bottom.
Yeah, that's remove.
Yeah. Well, the lady, she's pointing in the opposite direction. Apparently, she just asked this guy to move this gigantic boulder. She says, now that you moved it over there, I'm not sure I like it there. Can you move it over here?
Yeah, that's a remove. Remove, yeah.
Remove.
Yeah. If you don't know on those are Inktober. You have one word every day to draw. And I did 31 of them.
Inktober. Yeah, I know about Inktober. I just too much for me. Too much for me. Yeah. But I admire you guys who are doing their one page a day or whatever.
Every day.
And, I admire you guys for your persistence, your energy, and your talent. We got a story in here from Simon Mackey about a young lady, and the thing about this is it's kind of funny. She's in England. She's in London, England, or maybe she's in Liverpool. I have to read it, but it is in England, okay? And she claims that she met the Beatles, and you see the double-decker buses that they have over there in England. She tells a story about how she met the Beatles entirely by accident, and you don't know if it's true or not. And it's kind of funny, but it's got some really nice artwork in it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Simon Mackey.
There they are.
Simon Mackey. So, this is from Jim, Maine.
That looks good. I can't wait to get my copy.
Beautiful Floyd Sumner front cover. Gotta recommend this.
How much how many pages and how much is it?
Well, looking at the, it looks like it's about 22 pages long.
Okay.
Slick paper, full color. It says here, $2.99 per issue.
$2.99.
So $3.
I suggest you round that up.
Yeah,
to $3.
Jim tried to make it sound like it's less expensive.
Knock off. But I would round that up.
It's a common commercial trick, $2.99 from Jim, Maine. You can order it from him. You can. I think he accepts PayPal. He has a website here, Gmail account, mainjim23@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure if you send that to him.
I'll put that stuff down in the description of the video.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay.
And.
All right, let's see what else we got.
There you go. Larned will probably get his copy tomorrow. He didn't get it yet, but he did get the PDF. So Jim, he did read it. He did see it, and I got this. So. All right.
Okay. What do we got next?
We got a long ways to go here because there's a lot of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. We got to get going.
Yeah, we got to get going.
We're already.
I am going to mention this one. Joe Ellie Carrales pulls out the stops one more time with a front cover from the great Don Simpson.
Simpson does this cover, which is very nice.
And it looks like Don changed the entire logo, the Improv and Wonk.
Yeah,
Improv and Wonk.
Too much to write all that on the cover.
Yeah, forget all that. Make it easy.
Right.
But it's a beautiful cover, and it's the Improbable Girl and the Wonder Kitty.
Yeah.
And this is issue
part
number 8, part 2 of the Druid's Secret.
And what's nice, Joe, if you look on the first page, does a recap of the previous issue, which I like.
Which is good.
I think that's very good to do that, because Joe's stories are complicated, no doubt about that. But there's 2 pages of recap.
Bring you up to date. You know, sometimes people leave that out, and you don't know what the heck. You
don't
just
know
get
what's
thrust
going
into
on
the
in
middle
their
of the
second
story.
issue. So Joe has solved that problem by putting in a recap.
And that's not all. If you look at the editorial page in the beginning,
look at that.
A lot of the story here
to read.
Yeah, a lot of the story goes way back to comics that he worked on.
Yeah.
I can't get my finger in the right spot, but yeah, right there. The origins of this particular story go back a couple of decades, it looks like. He had the stories of the FDI, and it was something that he worked on, well, like I say, a couple of decades ago. I'd have to read this, and I need to get new glasses, but I can tell you that it was a while back, and these stories actually began a couple of decades ago. But in the recap, there's a lot going on here.
It's
a wildly convoluted,
a lot of stuff. Joe puts in a lot of yellow boxes, explanation boxes, and a lot of word boxes.
A lot of stuff involving our mailroom super heroines, Marie and Nico, the Improbable Girl and the Wonder Kitty. You may know that there are the good guys, which is our guys, the ladies and the government that they work for under General Cornwallis, and there's the bad guys under Orko. And I even have to look at this, but there's the Dark Duke was in here. The Dark Duke was one of the bad guys, working for Orko. Something happened to him. He was attacked by this sinister guy over here, who turns out to be the Druid, because things are changing a lot. He wasn't the Druid at this time, but he became the Druid. Something's going on. Something sinister is going on. The attack on the Dark Duke led to him being in a hospital room.
Yep, there he is.
Where am I at? Where's my hospital room picture?
There he is,
you got it?
Hospital, yeah.
There it is. And then they take off the bandages.
There he is. See?
And he looks like this.
He looks like that.
So he's evolved mutated into something.
But his name is a little different, isn't it? Isn't his name Daniel?
The name changes over the issue. A lot of things change as the story progresses.
This is Duke Daniel, the green-faced fellow.
Yeah. Well, he says, he's like, what has become of my hand? He hasn't even seen his face yet. He just knows that something's came up. It's an iron claw. What that leads you, gives you a hint of what his new name is going to be. But you see, the good guys and the bad guys and the agents of Orko, they're facing off against each other and blaming each other for really strange events that are going on. But it's you see, what neither one realizes at first is that there's there's so much going on. Here we got South Texas, and it's snowing over here, so a lot of weird stuff is happening. Meanwhile, Marie, there's Marie, is drawing pictures of ancient artifacts, of strange ancient arcane artifacts, and it turns out that a lot of these artifacts are items that have been stolen from a museum and that are rumored to have strange powers. Okay, so as I said, there's the good guys, the U.S. government, and the bad guys, the Orko guys, but there's another force out there, and it's an evil, sinister, mystical source that's causing things to go absolutely berserk in the universe.
Now, does that have to do with, I'm not sure, This is the green-faced guy, the leprechaun, right here. You see him with the robe on and the bottom panel.
Leprechaun is, I believe, the druid.
Yeah, I think so. He's the druid. That's where the druid comes from. Now, the leprechaun, later in the book, changes. He becomes this guy. That is the leprechaun, but he has a different name at this point. What was the name again, Steve? You see it? I forgot what it was. It's Xavier.
Oh, it's like Xavier or something like that.
Something like Xavier, but he has a different name at this point in the story. So what we're saying is, you got to pay attention when you're reading.
Got to pay attention
because it's hard to describe.
Joe's not writing
to it.
He's not writing a children's book here. This is something you adults have to pay attention to.
You gotta read all the boxes, all the dialogue, all the explanatory boxes.
Yeah.
In order to know
the name was Zaviran, and there was a whole history behind it. You see, Marie, the improbable girl, was actually taken possessed by the spirit of this woman, who was someone who fell in love with Zaviran, who knows, thousands of years ago. And there was a whole, relationship until she found out that he was up to no good. He was evil, and he really didn't love her, you see. But she's like crazy about him. You can see that. She's giving him a big hug there. I'm envious, But, and it says, from Egypt to India, he was resisted, but this guy almost took over the world. He then unleashed the powers of the Sixth on them. Remember, there are 6 artifacts that have been stolen from the museum. Powers I had brought forth. He rose up armies from the muck of the seas and slaughtered millions. So, this guy's, he's not your, your shoplifter, this guy has really done some bad stuff.
Now, it also includes the new People's Journal,
which
the
is
October
cool.
issue of that.
A little bit of pushback here from
that's another panel there, another page.
Yeah.
But just to show you that the People's Journal has a lot of interesting reading right there.
Absolutely. He's got an interview of tetragrammaton fragments. He interviews it. One of my, where is it? The last issue of the UFO newsletter that I published. He actually has an interview. And by the way, he did the cover. Joe Ellie Carrales did the front cover. And just to mention that, because he says I'm, the eternal huckster, but I'm always mentioning the UFO. But he did do that. But he mentions it here, and it's flattering. So for that reason alone, I recommend this book. Just so you can go there, and you can see my name in print. That was me. I published that.
There you go. And he also has this, the Indie Art Press Pass, which is more articles and things. Ken Bailey is featured here.
There's
it's an
interview. He actually interviews Ken Bailey. Ken Bailey. He does Energy Girl, and we've talked about him and his comics.
Yeah, we review his comics. I think that's Ken Bailey right there, working on a comic.
Yep, that's him. That's him. That picture there.
Right. He's working on a comic. So, a lot to read in here. And it's
free. Absolutely free. No, I'm just kidding.
It's 36 pages. And it costs $10. $10 for
Larned did skip over the part where he talks about our show. Talks small press, because Larned is a modest guy. He's modest, and he doesn't want to. I'm not so modest. It mentions my name in big letters right here. A class for Keeter.
Well, see, the thing is, we critique, no, we talk about his book, then he corrects us in that article, and he corrects all the things we get wrong.
Yeah, and Joe goes into depth.
The whole thing.
He doesn't
we
just
get it all wrong.
You know, yeah, Joe spends 2 pages. He'll go into depth talking about this. It's very entertaining, and you'll learn a lot about
total idiots because we don't get it, and he has to explain it to us. So.
We're not total idiots.
Well, just about
75%, something like that. You know. I've been working on it. I'm trying to perfect that. You know, it's a technique. You know, it's really something you got to work on. But
we better get moving along here.
We got more.
We got a lot.
We got more. Let's get into Horseman. What do you think?
Horseman, of course, is Larry Johnson's very different comic book.
Beautiful book.
It is wordless.
Yeah. Up to issue number 5 already.
And
Larry's up to issue 5.
It's a challenge, of course, to follow the story because there's no words. And it's just a lot of neat artwork also.
But it's like a dream. The whole thing is like a dream. A horseman who wanders through lots of a series of bizarre adventures, but here he is exposed by an alien ray coming from where am I at? Right here. It looks like, okay, there's a beam like this, a little circular beam, and this thing, well, it turns out it comes from a group of alien type beings
that have
who
the
all
same
have
thing on their head.
Yeah, they have cyclopean beaks, where they don't have eyes or whatever. They just have this telescopic kind of a vision. This thing that comes out and emits rays and causes all kinds of weird things to happen. Now, the wonderful thing about this book is you just read it. You know, we talked before about how you can, there's no words. We've talked before about how a great comic storyteller can tell a story without dialogue if you just follow the picture. And this is a perfect example. You go through the story, and it's, you know, it looks crazy, all kinds of weird stuff, but one panel leads to the other, and you can follow it wordlessly throughout and look at that beautiful artwork from Larry Johnson. I mean, wow. Yeah,
quite a book. Quite a book.
And Larry always pulls out the stops. I mean, he never. I mean, you don't get something from Larry and you can say, well, you know, this is okay, but you know, it looks like he was not as good as the last time. They're always great, you know.
Number 5 of the series, and this is $6 from Larry. And it's I don't think the pages are numbered. I don't believe. So it's quite a few pages, though.
Yeah, so hopefully when they assembled this book, they didn't, you know, they got the pages all in order. It looked that way to me because I did go through the entire book. It's crazy. It comes across the same sort of alien cyclopean beings, but now they're skeletons.
Yeah, I noticed that.
They're
and he has a comment section in the back for people that have commented on previous issues.
Yeah.
Back there. And let's see, what else has he got?
UFO checklist is in there. At one
There's
point,
an oil painting he did of the horse.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that oil painting.
Yeah, he's quite an artist, and his paintings are beautiful.
16 by 20. He did that in 2017.
Wow. Larry's paintings are beautiful. His art, his comic book artwork is beautiful. The inks, everything about it. Here's a horseman being transferred into, well, here he is, 8 arms all of a sudden, and just one thing leads to another and another, and it's just a crazy series of adventures. In the end,
there's a ad for his other comics. You know, Madame Boogala, The Hand, Broken Bee, Tales of the Broken Bee, and those are cool. Those are neat. I think we reviewed
all of
that
these,
particular
all of these,
one.
I would highly recommend. They're really, seriously, My friend Larry, sure, he's my friend Larry Johnson. He's also one of the finest small press creators out there, and I don't think anyone can argue that point. I remember when he was first doing comics back in the early 1970s. He was always pretty good, but he has evolved so far from that. That these, and it's stuff that a mainstream publisher wouldn't publish.
No.
They don't think there's a market. Maybe there is. I don't know, because no one's going to give this type of a comic a chance.
Yeah. That is the beauty of small press.
Horseman goes through all these adventures, and at the end, he's off.
Good stuff.
To the next adventure. That one's done. Brilliant, just brilliant work from a great old friend, Larry Johnson. I can't say enough about what a great talent he is.
Oh yeah.
What a great guy he is too.
Yeah, we've interviewed him out here too. You can look that up.
Yeah.
We have an interview with him.
Now.
What do you got?
Got this?
Oh, this, yes. This is from Micah, and this is a silvery cover, a little hard to show on here.
Foil stamp cover.
Micah Liesenfeld, who lives not too far from me here in the St. Louis area. And he and I met for coffee, and he gave me 2 copies, one to send to Steve, and this one.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
This is very serious. This is about his infant daughter, what she went through right after coming home from being born, basically.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, because you do know Micah personally, and so this is based on his own life experience.
This is his own daughter. This is his daughter.
Wow. Wow.
They didn't know what her problem was. The doctors didn't even know. And him and his wife, you'll see through the story, went through hell trying to help the baby and not know what to do. The baby had a lot of problems, and he does a great job of recording this. The comic kind of might bring a tear to your eye,
Absolutely.
If you're a dad or a mom looking at this, might be a little tough to read. They had one heck of a time with this baby.
Well, it's very moving. It's very moving. It's very factual. Now, I mean, it's like you go from one panel to the next. You're following the story. It's like you're there, Now,
since then, the baby has gotten older, and they have diagnosed the baby with something called AT. And I don't know, and I don't think it's in here. I don't know what AT stands for.
Well, I think it's in there somewhere. I saw it.
Is it? The proceeds from the book go to the AT Foundation. It doesn't go to Micah. It all goes to the foundation for finding a cure for this AT. I don't know how it affects his daughter exactly right now, because this story is about the few days that they brought her home from the hospital.
Okay, it's called, it's hard, it's in the inside front cover. Ataxia telangiectasia. So it's a complicated word.
Very hard, yeah.
But you can feel.
You don't need to know. You just need to know that she is affected by it. It's very rare and very difficult to deal with.
Look at this beautiful page here in full color. The entire issue's in full color.
It's all color.
That's his wife, and that's his family, grandparents and aunts, and they're all, and they're all enjoying this beautiful child.
Now look at her arm here. She has to have this on her arm currently, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because this is join my Patreon if you would like to help support making AT Walker, making the book. If you'd like to help them support, And I'm
they
sure
talk about.
This is from a while ago, but
and they talk about the treatments that went on like week by week. They were giving her different antibiotics every week, and they took her to the emergency room on numerous occasions. And then as an explanation, they inserted a a tiny plastic or metal tube inserted into the eardrum
In
to
her
get
ear,
fluid from building up.
Yeah.
Um,
Any
which
diagrams
helps to
below
relieve the
here,
pressure in the ears.
what it looks like and what it does, you can see down here,
Yeah.
like right here.
So it's just so poignant. I mean, it's just so poignant. Even like when you have the nurse, you know, like I guess that's the nurse there.
I don't know if it's his. No, it's not his wife. Yeah, that's a nurse.
Yeah, that's the nurse, and she's holding the baby, and you can tell that this child is very much loved.
Yeah.
So this is really a very moving story, and I'm not sure what happens here. There's a point in the middle where there's just artwork.
Just walking. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's him, perhaps, just walking along.
I don't know if that's him or what, but
yeah,
just walking alone.
It's got this beautiful
There's another one here. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Just by himself.
Beautifully,
I don't know
the
who exactly
is really
that
nice.
is. If that's the girl, the daughter, or him, or his wife, or what. But
yeah, it could be the daughter. Just
by herself out there, you know. Not really, but.
Yeah, because, okay, I mean, if you look at the first picture, you have to look really good. I'm just looking at it now. It looks like the figure has on a cap. You see the hat?
Uh-huh.
In the second picture, the wind blows the cap off.
Uh-huh.
In the third picture, the cap is blowing away. So, I mean, whatever it means, it's very moving.
It means something to him.
Very moving. And then you see, following that, you see Micah at the drawing board.
Yeah.
Just detailing his experience. And he says, here, show me the way. Show me the way I must go, he says. Oh, man. I mean,
it's tough.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah. But well worth it. And you're helping a good cause. If you can get this, I'll put his information down below.
I couldn't say enough.
Very powerful comic book.
Absolutely. Very powerful. Everything about this book is beautiful. I couldn't recommend it anymore. This is just a fantastic.
Yeah.
What a story. A guy, Micah bears his soul in this like nothing I've seen before from Micah. Absolutely.
Really powerful book. Yep. Okay.
On the other hand.
Oh, we have the one and only is Steve Willis with cranium frenzy number 23.
Yeah.
And
that's an abrupt change, people. I'm sorry.
Right down the cover and keeps on going. And there's no explaining it.
No. But
the key to everything.
The key to everything. Oh, that's right.
Just
starts out here.
I cannot hardly explain it.
Presenting Topsy, the mystical dog. And there's a guy, he's sort of a comedian with forearms. He says, don't worry, folks. This dog, Topsy, this dog's a musical dog. He says, this dog's bark is worse than his bite.
Yeah,
his bark is his work. Yep. But you see, nobody's laughing here either. It's like he says, get it? Bark, bark. And he says,
yeah.
Why is there no laughter? Because it isn't funny. But it gets better, folks, I promise.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, you get over a page or two here, and he goes, I'm getting that deja vu feeling again. What?
Oh, no.
In the first panel. Then in the second panel, I'm getting that deja vu feeling again. What? And then in the third panel, I'm getting that deja vu feeling.
And it keeps happening.
Keeps on going.
The rabbit here says, annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
The guy looks like Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, from the 1950s and 60s for all you youngsters out there. But
I think that's
smarter
what
than
it
I
is.
remember.
Yeah.
And it keeps going on. I'm getting that deja vu feeling. And you go to the next page.
It goes on the next page. You got two more panels.
Let's see what happens. Well, start the same thing. I'm getting that deja vu feeling.
Deja vu feeling again.
And what is this madness here? You got a creature with, like Batman or something, but he's inside of tank, a water
It's the same as the cover.
bottle.
It's the same as the cover.
And he puts his hand in a giant glove and gives a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And here he's giving a thumbs down.
Yeah. I don't know.
Deja vu joke.
I don't know, but. And there's Shemp from the Three Stooges.
Oh, this is wild too, because that's the start of another joke. My great honor to introduce you now, the self-help guru who helps himself. Chuck spits on you and his a cappella singers. Okay, Chuck spits on you.
Yeah.
Here he goes, and he goes me 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 me. And next it goes to Shemp Howard, and that looks like Shemp Howard, and he's like, it's hard to do the Shemp Howard thing, but it's yeah. Only Shemp could do that. Even Curly did it differently. Curly had his own thing, but but I'm telling you, that's Shemp right there.
Yeah. So now on the third panel, he's got the dog, Shemp, and
Flea.
Yeah. They got all three of them.
Yeah. So each of them, after they've done their thing, they move over to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the next page, you've got another character joins in, and he is singing Flea.
He's a judge.
Flea.
Oh, that's the judge. Oh, no, that's you're right.
Yeah, he's
so that's plea.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pirate.
And then the pirate is singing C. And then down below, we have I can't even read it.
The scuzzy
ski guy. And he just says ski.
Followed by the mentally unbalanced hatter. T. And you see they're piling up.
Yes, they're all there. They're all there. Yeah.
Piling up. And Shemp is there in the back.
Believe it or not, it keeps going over here.
Yeah, it just goes on and on. So it's and then over here.
So we go on to the next page, and this one has the big G, and he's carrying a key, so he says key. The next panel, they all say everything all together.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can duplicate that.
Yeah.
And then we're back to.
Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? It looks like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
actually, on the next page we have thumbs up.
Yeah, that was a thumbs up.
Yeah, with a little head popped out of the.
A little head pops out of there. There's something, he says,
you don't see every
day. And that's the thing about Steve Willis's comics.
You don't see this every day. You don't see this in a lot of comics. In fact, the only comic you're going to see it in is this one. But anyway, Steve is a one of a kind. Very, very clever. Very clever.
There's nothing else like these. I mean,
no.
I mean, I can skip over the next page, not bad. But
I hate to show everything because, I don't want to show everything. But,
yeah.
Anyway, it's got a lot of crazy stuff.
Somebody's interviewing this congressman, and in the background, if you look, you don't notice it at first, but you see this little puppet in the background, right there.
I see it. Yeah.
And he says, "What is that puppet doing?" When he turns around, the puppet's gone, vanish. I don't see a puppet. Well, there was one, and then they have an argument about it. And it is with Steve Willis. If there's an argument about something, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
For an entire page. No, you didn't.
During
yes,
the
you
argument,
did.
there's
yes,
a mouse eating cheese. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So now we cannot end without the West Coast Buttercube Brothers on the back.
Of course.
You'll not be able to see this very well, but you can't have a issue without them.
Let's see if I can hold that up.
See, can you read it? Because I can't.
Right there. It's the West
I'll
Coast
hold it up.
Butter
You
Crew
read it.
Brothers. It
You
says
read
here,
it. I'll hold it up.
I'm able to get it to look. Okay. These jokes where we always melt at the end are getting rancid. And one guy says, the writing for this series is spreading itself too thin. Still, for better or worse, readers seem to like it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yep. I got something in the mail and I'm sticking that under the door. It says, ooh, I am really, what does it say? I am really on a hot roll with these. It's hard to read it like this. It says, I'm really on a hot roll.
Holding it up, you read it.
With these puns. Yes? Yeah. So they're on a hot
roll with the puns and it melted them again.
Of course, it causes them to melt. Sorry about the interruption, folks. I got distracted there, but oh, we love the Barbecue Brothers because they just can't win.
And so far, I think a lot of people like him because he's made mention of that. So he keeps putting them on there. And once again, I've told you this before, you cannot buy this comic. You have to trade for it. Trade one of your comics if you're a creator. Trade something. Or send him stamps. But you cannot buy it. Once you get on his mailing list, you're on it.
And it's worth it just for the sound effects. I mean, looks like a couple of little bug-like guys get flattened here. They get stepped on. And the sound effect is flattened through tremendous pressure.
Yeah, that's a sound effect.
That's a sound effect.
Sound effects are very, they really let you know what's going on.
Yeah.
His sound effects. So.
Yep. Anyway, there's a lot more. I can't hold this.
Yeah, let's not give it all away because we don't want to do that. So.
But Steve Willis is a genius. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, where are we at?
What do we got? What do you got next?
Okay, well, we got a lot here that we received from Stephen McCardle.
Yeah, we got three books from Stephen McCardle.
Yeah. Now the thing about some of these were published back in the 90s. Some of these were published back in the 90s. This one, Artillery.
Vendetta,
this one,
I think, Vendetta is a good example of one of his early comics. I did ask him when he drew this. He was 26 years old.
Wow.
I don't know whether it says the date on here or not.
It says 1994. So these were
1994.
These were published in the 90s, okay?
Yeah.
But these have been reprinted recently. At least I know the Vendetta one has. The first issues of Vendetta.
That is coming in a that's not in the 80-page, is it? No. This
it's not. It's a separate volume.
It will be in a separate volume, yes.
Yeah. So I was looking at the website. It's the Power Comics and was it Floating World / Power Comics. The Power Comics guys are reprinting some of Steve McCardle's works from the 1990s.
So this is from the 90s, and look at the detail in the background, the brick wall. Every brick is drawn.
Right.
Every single brick. And these are all, I don't know how you would describe them. There's a name for them, but they're all...
they're loaded with testosterone. That's what they are.
Yeah, basically. It's all
testosterone,
stabbing, and street gangs.
A lot of fighting going on.
Motorcycle gangs.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah, there's all that. And pretty good story, too.
Yeah. But
you got some great panels.
You think about the art, you look at it, it has got, here again, another panel with every brick drawn. Panel at the top, panel in the middle.
So he pulled all the stops. Back in those days, he pulled out the stop. And you know what else? They have that old comic smell to them.
Old, yeah.
That alone would be a recommendation.
Now, this is not available like you can't buy this from him because
Or this one.
he doesn't sell these anymore. But they are going to be in a reproduced in a book from Floating World. I think that's in process now. And that one it'll also include, I think it will include Crowbar, or wait a minute.
Yeah, we're going to get the Crowbar in a minute here.
That's different, but it will include, I think, Artillery, which is.
Hey, look at this.
Yeah, look at that.
That's what I'm saying. Here's a guy in his 20s. That's what I'm saying.
Here's the color.
Maximum testosterone. Here we go. If you saw that coming at you, what would you do? I would think you'd run as fast as you could, right? And that's the good guy. That's the good guy. Where do you see the bad guys? Just terrific work, you know, from way back then. So
I mean, it's all action, fight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm stronger than you. No, you'll never be stronger than me. You know, all that kind of stuff.
Now, we're saying that's the earlier issues.
Yeah.
I will say we have Crowbar number 9.
Yeah.
Now, Crowbar number 9 reprints the adventures of a superhero team, and most of this reprints 3 issues. Well, it reprints 2 issues that were first published back in the 90s. That's probably why the Power Comics guys like this, because they like the comics from the 80s and 90s, you know. And but the first 2 issues published in the 90s, and they had nice artwork as well. It looks like Steve had calmed down a little bit in some of his artwork.
Some of the artwork.
He's also improved. You can see his anatomy and everything is improved. Things aren't as exaggerated. But it also contains the unpublished 3rd issue.
That's what.
3rd issue.
And you can get this. This is available from Steve. Yeah. And we'll have his info down below. But you can get this. This is 80 pages.
Yeah. And you can see
wild, you know, action. Here's a
and it's really crazy. You know, you've got aliens invading the Earth. You got heroes. This guy here is he's kind of like the Sandman. He fell into a concrete mixer and was well. Apparently there was a little more involved, some radiation or something, transforming him to a character who can control concrete.
Right.
You know. He gets out of a cab at one point, and the cab driver looks down and says, "Where did this sand come from?"
It's got a little humor.
And
it's just wild. You know.
There's also a tragic storyline, if I can find it here. You got one hero.
Not overpowering dialogue or anything. You know, a lot of look at the pictures. You know, which I like. I like that. But. Yeah. And Steve McCardle is a heavy rock musician also, which goes right along with the books.
Oh, yeah. He's a heavy metal musician.
He's a heavy metal. I don't know what he plays. It might be drums.
I think it's sort of a punk heavy metal from what I saw. You got one hero that is in a hospital bed. And he apparently appeared in earlier issues, but here he's been injured. And this is his last stand. He's dying, and he's there, and he has to use his powers one last time, which gives the story a tragic kind of a feel. It's an edge that you didn't expect. So you see him here, and he's straining to use his powers for the very last time, like gravity powers, I believe, to bring down the enemy. So, a lot of exciting action, a lot of terrific artwork.
All action, really cool.
Double-page spreads like this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we showed them that, I think.
And if you look at that 3rd
lots
chapter,
lots of double-page spreads.
Yeah, a lot of those.
Look at that. Look at that. You know, that is a lot of work.
Yeah, and if you look at the artwork as it evolved, especially if you go back and look at the older issues of Vendetta, you'll see that this guy Steve has really refined his craft.
Yeah.
And he's really become quite good to where you see stuff like this.
Yeah.
Very impressive, very emotional.
Now this
nice, very nice.
Power Comics is a YouTube channel that does a lot of these kind of things. I think they found Steve and had him on their show. And I think he must have had a pretty good response, because then he contacted us and he sent us the books. And so
they're helping to, I guess they're helping to fund the reprints.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they do a lot of these kind of books.
And there's a Vendetta. Now Vendetta actually he passed away at one point in the earlier series, but
yes,
he's brought back
killed.
to life. He's not a handsome guy, right?
No.
But he's very powerful. He's also highly intelligent,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes back to help this team to defeat the sinister alien forces. And there they go, teammates. On one page, he lists. He actually gives you a look at almost everyone in the team. Although the team actually adds a couple of members as this goes along. But these were the original members of the team right here.
Now, also in Vendetta, this particular issue of Vendetta was a flip book. So the other artist in here has a little different style.
Yeah, the Scorpion story.
The Scorpion. He has
Here
a
it
little
is.
different style than Steve does. Yeah.
Now remember, this is from like 1995, but man, look at that
It's
beautiful
a lot
cover.
different. Yeah. That looks very much like it was done on a computer there.
Pencils by Matthew Sylvester.
Mm-hmm.
Also Steve McCardle.
Yeah.
Inks by Lynn Versoni. And,
So they've had some help.
letters by Norden McIntosh.
Kind of a staff. You can see the word balloons are different, and it's different.
That's when you turn over the Vendetta book.
Yeah, when you turn that one over.
Flipping over.
So I don't, like we said, I don't think Vendetta is available from him anymore, but it will be included in his next volume of work.
Yeah, well, Steve, if you go on the, what is it called? Floating, I can't remember.
Floating World Comics.
If you go to the Floating World / Power Comics page, he does have a book that reprints the I think it was 4 issues of Vendetta. I don't know if Scorpion is included in that, since it was a
I don't know either. I don't know. But you can go to Power Comics. They interviewed Steve, I think twice, if I'm not mistaken. So you can go to their YouTube channel and you can see.
I went over to do a little bit of
Steve.
research.
Yeah. So this is completely different than we ever see. We haven't seen anything quite like this, because these are old, and
well, I mean, I was around in those days, but I didn't see these particular comics. There's so many different. There's different factions
of a different
fandom
kind of
and different factions of small press.
Right.
And I don't remember seeing these at that time particularly, but kudos to the Power Comics guys and anybody else who's bringing this stuff back. I'm all for it.
Yeah. They've dug up some real gems, found them, and they enjoy. They'll do every single page. They'll describe every single page in a book. Yeah.
Okay. You got to thank the Power Comics guys, though. I mentioned this before, but I do have my copy of the complete John Tar.
Yes, we talked about that.
Tony Lorenz cover, full stamp, and a thick book. You go to the Power Comics page to.
They interviewed the original artist in his home.
And there's a lot of great stuff in here.
Yeah.
And these are reprints, from a couple of decades back, and the entire John Tar series is in here. So we'll throw that out there.
That's a $30 book.
I think it's 30 or 40.
I think it's 30.
I think it's 30. And I bought my copy. I got it from Tony Lorenz, so he signed it for me. Thank you, Tony. Great honor to have. He did. He signed it for me.
Yeah, there
Steve,
you go.
Thanks for the support. My old pal, Tony. And
Well,
he's got some. I know. Oh, you did. I was thinking the same thing. And Tony Lorenz has work in here, and so.
And John Muller. Isn't this a John Muller cover?
Yeah.
John Muller for the cover of
Okay.
And this is Steve's original comic book project that over the years. What was the first one, Steve?
#1 was published in 1973.
There you go.
I did 2 small press comics prior to that, but they weren't. Not many people saw those, and they were really crude. So really, when I think of #1, I think of that as my first real small press comics. Small press comic that had any real distribution. It was also a member of the BPP co-op, and which became the UFO co-op. It was the last BPP publication before the group fell apart and was revived by me 50 years ago as the United Fanzine Organization. And the back cover has the original logo, and this art is by Chuck Robinson II, not inked, but colored by some guy named Larned Justin. Some guy did a great job on the colors. But Chuck Robinson drew this. He was the artist who did the cover for #1 50 years ago. And here he is again doing the back cover. We got that John Muller cover. And there he is again. See, you're talking about hucksterism and stuff like that. Joe, are you watching? Joe, Larn is a huckster too. This is artwork.
Skeet Spleets.
This is artwork. Artwork by Larned himself. I can prove it. He signed it right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Skeet
Chip
Bleed.
Young.
Yeah, Larned did that, and he also did 2 stories in the issue. Here he does a really crazy story.
Captain Awesome, yes.
Captain Awesome, which is Larned's characters, and 2 of my characters, the Beacon, who's known as a zany character, and Sunwing, who's generally been a serious character, but here he's doing something totally different. But one time before he did that too, he kind of can cross the line. It's like the other dimension, the other universe version. But Larned did a great job. And
there's a lot of stuff in here. Here's a Beacon by none other than Tim Corrigan.
Right, and that story was published years ago. I got permission.
And that's another one of that's Steve's character, the Beacon. But
yeah, I got a permission from Carol Corrigan, Tim's wife, to publish this again. Mm-hmm. It's a 4-page strip in there featuring the Beacon. So the Beacon appears in 2 stories. Larned Justin also has 2 stories in the issue. He has another one back here. And this is Ralph Needleman, Outer Space Accountant.
Yeah, this is Ralph Needleman. Yes, he's an outer space accountant, and has a little story in here.
So this guy Larned, he's pretty good, and he sent me stuff I didn't even ask for, like this one. I was like, wow, that's nice. And he just sent it to me. We got artwork.
We have our friend Larry Blake.
Right, Larry Blake.
Larry Blake has a story.
Talking about getting older and getting older in small press. And haven't heard from Larry.
Got a walker there.
So I'm hoping Larry's okay, because I haven't heard from him in a while. But I'll keep you guys informed. But he's had some medical problems. And he addresses that in this story. Mm-hmm. What a drag it is getting old.
Yeah, I think we all know about that.
There's a story here. This is a poem written by a friend of mine, Ken Gerke. It's based on a real-life experience.
Oh, Ken Gerke. I know Ken, yes.
Ken River Vlogger. Mm-hmm. And Ken wrote a poem, and it has to do with, and I got David Brandstetter to do the illustrations there, but it deals with, it's a true story about how I, as a kid, I was like 5 or 6 years old. I was up in the mountains in North Carolina. I believe I was in Asheville. And my 2 brothers and I, who were slightly older than me, we just walked into we didn't know what it was. And it was a beatnik nightclub. And these guys were in there. The lights were dim, and they were reciting poetry, and it details that experience and how that moment kind of influenced me.
Yeah.
You know, creatively. So there's a lot of other stuff in here. I had a lot of fun.
By Tim Temmel.
Tim Temmel. Yeah, Roland Tim Temmel with art by the late George McVeigh.
Yeah, George McVeigh art.
Yeah, and I published this I published this when I first got back into small press. I published it, and I did a terrible job with the printing in Mantra number 11, and I wanted to reprint it with much sharper printing. And so, I did the best I could. I think it came out a lot better this time.
Oh, looks good.
I heard from Tim, and he's pretty happy about it. So, so yeah, that's just something. You know, and there's a story. We mentioned Tony Lorenz. By golly, Tony Lorenz is in here. You bet. Tony's in here in a story I wrote about the Titan. This is a continuation of a story featuring the Vindicators, a superhero team, featuring many of my characters and some of Jim Main characters. And the previous story appeared in Jim Main's Posit. But here there was a question left at the end, because the Titan, who is a guy who can make himself giant size, was reduced to a very tiny size and just kind of left in the desert. And, you know, it was just kind of left hanging, and the story was never continued for some reason. I forgot about it or whatever. And here we have finally what happened to him. He battles a scorpion. You can see Tony Lorenz's terrific artwork.
Yeah.
With inks by Tom Ahern, and Tony just did a great job. They both did a great job. And glad to finish that story. And this is out in number 10, the 50th anniversary issue.
I think you told me, is this 52 pages?
52 pages.
And the price is what?
Inside it says $4.50, but actually $4. $4. You can PayPal it to me at my email address. And when I did that, I wasn't sure how long it was going to be, so I put $4.50, but really $4. That's postpaid. If you want to order it from PayPal.
Oh, this is good. This is a lot of good stuff in here. You ought to
grab
one of these.
The perfect Christmas gift, people.
Absolutely. People are lining up waiting for this.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun. John Muller did a fantastic job on the cover. It really turned out well. So I've gotten a lot of good comments about it. I'm pretty happy. So there'll be another. Yeah. I'll be publishing some more comics during the year to come. I guess Larned will be too. I'm pretty darn sure he will be.
Yeah, I'm working on something big. A lot of pages anyway. So we'll see. So,
we finally got to promote ourselves, Larned. We needed to. It was about time. We're promoting everybody else.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for the support. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We'll be back when we get more comics, of course. So I think we're going to cut this off. We try and keep it about an hour or a little over, but it's close. And we will see you in the next one. Could be an interview, or it could be more comics. We don't know.
It's Christmas time, so I'm a little busy, but I'm working a lot right now.
Yeah,
so
he's working more at Christmas, and everybody's busy at Christmas, so we'll just see what happens. But
we'll get it.
You can always fit in an hour somewhere, I'm sure. Okay. All right, we're going to end it here. We will see you next time.
Adios, folks.